Police chief sexually harasses one of the other police officers, his captain, and he gets a 10-day suspension. And then it's uncovered during the investigation. Not only does he do it, but others in the department, in their leadership, they do it as well. None of them get fired. They get a slap on the wrist. Let me take you to a place called Lawrenceville, Georgia. Let's put up the picture of the chief. That's the leader. He's the leader of the Lawrenceville City Police Department. A sexual harassment investigation in Lawrenceville, Georgia, has led to action against the top 2 officers in the police department, including that man, Chief Tim Wallace. That's Chief Wallace. He has been suspended for a whopping 10 days without pay. Let me give you some background. The investigation determined that Wallace, the chief, did in fact make sexist remarks to a female officer who secretly recorded the conversation. That's according to a 33-page report obtained by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. On Thursday, they were able to get it through an Open Records Act request. Here's what he said, and I quote, "You walk around here looking like a Hooters girl when the air conditioner's not working." The report quotes Chief Wallace saying, "Are you working here or are you working at Hooters? Question mark, ha ha ha. Go get you some orange shorts on." The report also cited Wallace was creating a hostile work environment. It gets deeper, there's much more. The report reveals a culture of sexism, well, you don't say. A culture of sexism that some employees said goes back years and has continued in certain corners of the department. Some female employees told the investigator they felt undervalued, while men who were part of the good old boy network who committed bad behavior were protected. Let's put up a picture of the city manager. The city manager, his name is Chuck. That's good old Chuck Warbington. Chuck is actually in charge of the police department because they have what's called a weak form of mayor system, where the mayor is not the executive in charge of the city, but the city manager is. He's the guy in charge. Let's put up a picture of the chief again. Let's put up a picture of the city manager. There's a theme here. I'm going to break it down. Now, let me remind everyone that in places where historical biases exist, it does not simply exist in the context of racial bias. It exists in the context of gender bias. It exists and expresses itself in various ways, including sexism, which you see right here. While the Lawrenceville Police Department has made some strides to diversify its workforce and make it more professional, some of the old mentality still seems to exist. That's according to the report, the official report. Chief Wallace, who has led the department since 2018, wasn't the only person disciplined as a result of the investigation. His assistant chief, Major Myron Walker, will receive, here it is, verbal counseling. Verbal counseling. So his assistant chief, he's disciplined, the chief is disciplined. The chief gets 10 days suspension, gets to come back. The assistant chief, we're gonna talk to him. We're gonna call that verbal counseling, write it up. Show them. The former captain, there's more, always is. The former captain, Christopher Ryan Morgan, was found to have violated the city's harassment policy. Damn. Another one. Morgan declined to be interviewed by the city's investigator. So what did Morgan do? Morgan got his retirement on. He retired before the probe was finished. You know why he retired? Because they let him. All right, he was probably more guilty than any of them. He retired, he ran. Wallace, the chief, has been with the city of Lawrenceville since 1996. Real good old boy here. Holding both the rank of captain and lieutenant, according to state records. He began his career with a 5-year stint As a deputy with the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Department, the city announced that it was updating its training and would make clear its communication process for submission of confidential employee complaints. Who's the mayor? His name is David Steele. Let's put up Mayor Steele's picture. All right, let's play a game here. Let's put up the picture of the chief. Let's put up a picture of the city manager. And let's put up a picture of the mayor. According to the filings, those three gentlemen oversee an operation that allows for sexual harassment to go unpunished to the degree that it should. It's not punished. Okay, I tell people this all the time, Woz. In places where there's institutional bias, it expresses itself in many ways. And in this instance, we're not doing a story on racism. We're doing a story on sexism and genderism, sexual harassment against female employees only. That's what this story is about. And once again, the hand of management in this city government decided to protect those who were the perpetrators and do absolutely nothing meaningful. They didn't even get fired. Thoughts?
You know, it's interesting that you bring up the word culture, Dr. Richey, because culture, all it is an accepted group of behaviors and rituals, right? And who sets the culture? It's the people at the very top, because they're the ones who are able to hold the other people accountable. They're the ones with the authority. If a subordinate does something that's out of line, to hold them accountable, punish them, make an example, show that this is not an acceptable group of behaviors. And if you got the people at the very top participating in abhorrent behavior, it's gonna permeate the entire operation. That seems obvious. And as far as reprimands, man, like, even if you say you're not gonna fire these dudes, I gotta say a demotion has to at least be in order here. Like, you no longer get to be in charge of things. Maybe you don't lose your job, you don't lose your pension, you don't lose your paycheck, but public ridicule and a demotion where you no longer get to call the shots should be in order here. The idea that this guy could, preside over this unruly ass atmosphere and then just be like, all right, just go chill at home with the wife and kids for 10 days and come on back and go right back into, setting the agenda for this organization. That's just crazy to me.
Yeah, but it's normative, and that's why we expose it.